Tires are the best bang for your upgrade on your bike. Out of anything that you could possibly change for your bike, tires give you the most for your money. They make you faster, they make you more comfortable, they give you more grip and allow you to take corners more confidently, they make you safer, and they can allow you to ride in more varied terrains. Tires are at the top of the list. And at the top of the tire list are the Continental GP 5000s. But making a bike tire is a very delicate balancing act, and usually you have to make sacrifices in 2 out of those 5 areas. These are the best performing tires I've ever tried, no question about it. They're the fastest, they're the most comfortable, while they still have a really good amount of grip in the corners. But at the same time, I wouldn't buy them again. I've been riding the Continental Grand Prix 5000s, TR, which stands for tubeless ready, and these are indeed tubeless, for the past 1,100 miles. I put 1,000 miles in the title because it sounds better. And I'm reviewing them now at 1,100 miles because they're dead. I've used these tires for about 98% road use and maybe 2% off-road gravel use. And while they are the most amazing tires that I've ever ridden, they couldn't hang with me. While these tires may not be for me, they may be for you. Let's see if they are. But something that's definitely for you is this message from our sponsor, Wabi Cycles. The whole point of riding a bike is to have fun, and Wabi's bikes are the most fun that I've ever had throwing a leg over a bike. Stick around to the end of the video to learn about what makes their frame sets so special. The Continental Grand Prix 5000 is arguably the ultimate road tire. It is the fastest tire that I have ever ridden, and I've ridden some other fancy fast tires like the Compass, what the heck are they called now? Renaers tires. And if you look at all the fancy tests, the GP 5000S is consistently towards the top of the fastest tires in terms of rolling resistance and all that stuff. But for me, who's not a competitive cyclist, I even notice that it takes less effort to go the speed that I normally cruise at, and that I can even get faster than I normally would on a set of, say, Continental Gator Skins, a commuter tire. The speed difference is noticeable, and at around the same perceived effort for myself, I'm going about 1 mile per hour faster. And something I appreciate that this tire does over some other road race tires is that they feel really confident in the corners. They feel really grippy, even under wet conditions. I was riding these around typhoon season in Taiwan, and I could take corners as aggressively as I wanted without having any fear that I'm going to slip. And surprisingly, they're also fairly flat resistant. I've been riding mine tubeless, which does help. For the past 1,100 miles, I have had 0 flats. And most of those miles are here in Sacramento, where some portions of the road are paved with broken glass, thorns, you name it, nails, oh my gosh. And I have not flatted out once. Like, I'm even like the tank on the group rides that I host, where I am just eating all the wind and glass for everybody behind me, and I've not flatted on these tires one time. The Conti GP 5000s are also a very comfortable road tire. Usually when you have a puncture protected tire, it's going to be noticeably less comfortable, but the GP 5000s are actually one of the most comfortable tires that I've ever ridden, and it does absorb a lot of the buzz and the bumps in the road and even off-road pretty dang well. Another thing I really appreciated, specifically with the tubeless version of the GP 5000s, is that they were super easy to install. They hold air really well. There's a lot of reviews saying that, oh, they're really hard and finicky, but if you know how to install tubeless, they shouldn't give you any problem. They're one of those tires that snap onto the rim, and you can fill it up with air, and it will hold air and not leak all that much, even if you don't have any sealant in the tire. This is the easiest tubeless setup that I've ever done. And that's why everybody talks about the Grand Prix 5000s, and it's usually towards the top of people's lists when it comes to road race tires. And as well as it does balance speed, comfort, and grip, making it a really supremely fun way to ride your bike with these tires. It does come with the normal road race tire problems of leaving much to be desired in terms of durability, as in how long it'll last, and of course, price. If you want all those amazing benefits for the GP5000s, you're gonna have to pony up the cash. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. It's $130 for a set of 2 for the tubed version. That's a lot for a set of consumable tires that only last about 1,000 miles on a good year, or a good season. And if you want the tubeless version like I have, that's going to be about $180 for a set of 2. Yeah, it's a lot of money to be dumping into something that is consumable, and on top of that doesn't last long as things that are half the price. I do ride a fixed gear, so that does contribute to how much wear I have on my rear tire, but I don't skid a ton. I would consider myself like a moderate to light skidder. I'll pop one out here and there if it's necessary, but you know, the rubber is pretty soft compared to other tires, and that's what makes it so supple and so pleasant to ride. But when you're on rougher pavements, or you're skidding, or you're riding off-road, the rubber is going to get really banged up and wear down pretty quickly. I even have some deep gashes in here from glass and thorns. Luckily, none of them made their way through, and the sealant was able to plug it up, so I haven't experienced any flats. But the rubber is cracking, like I've gotten pretty deep down. It may even be flattening out a little. So this tire is pretty due for a change. And when it does wear down, you do actually notice a decrease in grip, and it does not feel as confident. So all the great things that people are saying about the GP5000, that is at the beginning of the life cycle, which I would say is probably the first 300 miles or so. But after that, you actually start to notice a decline in the grip, especially. And it does that annoying thing that every Continental tire that I've had does as well, where it just has stray polyester threads just dangling off of it after a certain period of time. And like, it doesn't affect the ride or anything, but it just looks kind of gross and it's annoying. And Continental does have the tread wear indicators. And yeah, 1,100 miles, not a whole lot of skidding, and not a whole lot of off-roading. And I know it's a road tire, but I take it off-road. I like to beat up my stuff. I am almost done with this tire. There's barely any tread wear indicator to indicate left. And on the front tire, like for the front tire, I would say if you only ride on road strictly, like not even 2% off-road that I'm doing, the front tire could maybe last you 2,000 miles, maybe twice as much as the rear tire. But alas, here we are, and my front tire is also dead. I have plenty of tread left, as indicated by the tread wear indicator in the front. So those little snake bites there, very visible, pretty deep, much clearer than the rear. And like the tread is also in much better shape than my rear. Just one big gaping problem. Last Saturday I did a century, and thanks everyone for coming out. That was a lot of fun. And after, on the next day, I noticed that there's this giant nick in the sidewall, and it's still holding air, but that's something that definitely needs to be replaced if I don't want my front tire to explode and to go careening into traffic. And that's the catch with these tires. For how much you're spending, which is, for me, that'd be close to $600 a year for tires, which is ridiculous. Like, yeah, everybody that reviews them says, oh, they're amazing, oh, get them and whatever. But I'm a daily cyclist. I don't like changing my tires because I don't have a mechanic for me to do it. I do it myself, and I'm on tubeless, and I have to spend my own money on bike stuff a lot of times. Sometimes I get it for free. I did not get these for free. I had to pay with my own money for them. And they just don't last long enough for how amazing they are. And I would strictly classify them as a road tire. Don't do any off-road with them because just, you know, one rock that was at the wrong angle when I was riding off-road nicked the sidewall and completely killed it. It's not designed for that, so don't do it for that. And also, if you're going to use it for the first few hundred miles, they're going to be great. They're going to be amazing. But after that, after they wear in, they start feeling a little bit more slidey, not as confident in the corners, or once they start to lose the tread, start to lose the rubber, and start to flatten out, it doesn't feel quite the same once you're a few hundred miles in, which is ridiculous. Are the GP5000s worth it? For everyday cyclists, probably not. I'm not going to buy them again. If you're a racer, or if you really care about your stats, and you can afford $600, $700 a year in tires, by all means. They are the most fast, the most comfortable, the most confident tires that I've ever tried. It's just that for the other two things, for price and for durability, they don't quite cut it. But for a lot of people, those are going to be sacrifices that are going to be easy trade-offs to get pretty much a perfect road race tire. And that's the catch with the GP5000s. But you know what doesn't have a catch? This message from our sponsor, Wabi Cycles. My Wabi Special is the most fun bike that I've ever ridden. The way Wabi's bikes are designed is very holistic. They look at every single thing to make sure that it gives you the best ride quality for your money as possible. Wabi's fixed gear and single speed bikes are constructed with a mostly road-like geometry that's slightly more aggressive for the preferences of us fixed gear riders, because most of us that are buying fixed gear bikes are riding them on the street anyway. And they help to bring the ride quality to life with very lively, supple Reynolds 725 or Columbus Spirit tubing. The way that these tube sets flex, they plane really nicely where it feels like the bike is giving in, it's pliable, but still springing back and giving you a responsive ride quality. Because it is steel, it's durable, it can take a beating, it can be locked up, it can be crashed. I have crashed these multiple times before, and they're totally fine. It's the most fun, most reliable daily bike that I've ever ridden. If you're interested in getting one for yourself, be sure to check out Wabi Cycles, linked in the description. And Fixie famous shoutouts to David K, Salvador Lombroso, Julian Corona, Brandon Black, Brent David, Mario Perez, Ted Onchi, and Brakeless.Illini for helping to make these fixed gear videos possible through their support on Patreon. And remember that life is short, but don't make it shorter. So be sure to ride your bike every day to be reasonably dangerous.